Good evening, all. Let's do the usual scan of can you hear us, especially on Martin's channel. Can you hear us clearly on Martin's channel?
Can you?
Probably help if I actually said something as well. Hello.
Yeah. Let me just have a listen. Yeah, you can hear it on my channel. Good. What about in your chat, Martin? Are they saying they can hear it?
I'm just seeing if anyone in my chat says they can hear it. Anyone? Yeah, they can hear us. Yeah, Peter says.
Excellent, fantastic. Good evening and welcome to the Plastic Crack Podcast, episode 20. Lovely to have you with us tonight. Obviously, on my left, we've got Martin Seven's son, and below me, we've got Steve, and we're missing Dom. Oh, dear. No, he's on holiday, and so he's having a lovely time with his family, so we can't begrudge him that. He will probably pop in to annoy me on Martin's stream at some point. You can imagine. But yeah. But no, it's really nice to see you all, and hope everyone's had a really good week. And why don't we start off with what have you been doing this week, Steve?
Metal miniatures.
Metal miniatures. Sounds exciting. Yeah. What metal miniatures have you been on?
Well, do you know I've got an inherent fear of metal miniatures. So on Saturday, I raided a bits box and I found a crap load of German metal miniatures, and then proceeded to chop them up and stick bits of plastic to them. Nice. But yeah, that was enjoyable. really enjoyed that. So that's what I'm going to be working on tonight. Will be more metal German miniatures.
Fantastic.
That was pretty much what I.
Oh. Oh, we lost you, Steve.
Am I still here?
Yeah,
now you are. Yeah, we lost you for the last bit. What you're working on tonight? We heard you say the German metal miniatures, and then you went Daleki.
Yeah. No. So tonight's going to be German metal miniatures. A German sniper team made up from figure. I don't know where it's from or who made it or what company it comes from, and one in a great coat. And I'm going to make a ridiculous beige.
I was going to say, what's he going to be hiding? What's he hiding behind?
No, that's cool. You'll have to stick some pictures up on the old Miniature War Gaming Warriors Facebook page, just so people can have a look.
Will do.
That sounds like a plan. What about yourself, Martin? What have you been working on this week, mate? And what are you doing tonight?
I'll surprise you by saying that tonight I'm working on more medievals. Look,
that's surprising. War of the Roses.
Yeah,
War of the Roses.
Yeah.
Oh, what a surprise!
So you go. And last week I finished off the Wars of the Roses stuff I was working on. So I finished another unit there. I finished my little bunker that I've been working on for World War II. I think I finished something else, but I can't for the life of me remember what it was. So I'm just
something else.
Yeah, I don't know. I'll remember later, or I half finished something. I'm kind of surrounded by minis now. I need to get some storage sorted out. I need to get some more boxes.
Just, too much stuff. But yeah, no, that's exciting. What a surprise! More War of the Roses, mate.
Yeah.
Is it ever going to end? Is the project ever going to end?
Yeah. Well, I had this plan that originally I was going to do 3 like divisions, if you like, and I was going to do Edward IV, Warwick, and Hastings, and that's now kind of developed. And now I've got this whole plan just to basically just make as much as I possibly can. So yeah, and then because like with the Napoleonics, I quite like to have 2 forces, and because in the Wars of the Roses everyone changes sides so often, it doesn't really matter who you use because you could just say they've changed sides. So yeah. I know. What about you?
This week I have been working on a couple of bits and bobs. I've done, obviously you saw the video over the weekend of some of the old knights, the men at arms and things. So I've done a load of these guys. I don't know if anyone can see them. Picture's probably not that great, but Yeah, done a load of those. I'm working on some more archers at the minute. Oh, jeez, Louise just dropped him. Good job, he's plastic. We'll get onto that in a bit.
Is that Longbowman?
Yeah. So yeah, I'm working on some of them. I've painted up a Skaven Doom wheel as well.
Oh yes, this is your paper bag thing, isn't it?
Yes. The good people don't know about this. They'll find out about this in a minute. But yeah. So yeah, my paper bag thing. So might as well talk about that quickly now, aren't I?
Yeah.
Right. So basically, what I've done is I've bought a load of bags. Well, they're not bags; they're envelopes, brown envelopes. Okay. And underneath my desk, I've got about 100-litre box. You've seen this, haven't you, Martin? So have you, Steve?
Yes.
Yeah.
And it's literally crammed full of these. And in these, there's loads of different models. Every model I own that's unpainted. And I've put like 3 in a pack, maybe 5 in a pack, just random stuff. So when I finish something, I stick my hand in the box, I pull out a bag, and that is what I'm painting next. And it's made me paint that Doom wheel because I've been looking at that Doom wheel for ages and thinking I need to paint that, and now I finally have. But I managed to pull out for my next thing is this bag here, and we'll open it on the stream a bit later on. So,
all right. Do you put them all in assembled, or do you put them in? Bits?
Yes, yeah, they're assembled. They're all assembled. They're not primed or anything like that. Some have got old paint coats on, so if I pull them out, they need to be stripped. But I'll have to strip them.
I don't know if I could do that because I think nothing to do that. I think if I just know that if I pulled out something I wasn't keen on painting, I'd just chuck it back in. I just look at that. I just look at that and go, nah, sod that. And
you need some discipline.
No, I'd be like that. I'd be like that as well. I'd be like, I'm not quite in the mood for whatever that was. In fact, I'd just be reading through to find something I wanted.
German.
But no, it's a good system. It's a good sit. German.
Yeah, German.
It's a good way of deciding those. Like, actually, do you know what? I don't want to pay. It's that thing, isn't it? Like if you go to flip a coin, if you stop just before you flip it, you'll be realised that you're actually wanting it to land one way more than the other, and therefore that should be the thing to do. So
Exactly.
Also, I don't think 100-litre tub would be enough, especially if I've got to assemble everything first.
Well, I've got 156 packets in there, so that's how many's in there. 156 packets, and I'm on packet number 2.
That's
156.
Wow.
There's everything in there, including the boats from Black Seas, and they're in there individually. So
here's
here's a question, Martin. Do you want to ask him?
What's that?
About the ships? About the ship? Ken.
Do
you base your Black Sea ship?
Yes, that's what I was going to ask you. Yes, do you base the ships?
No. No.
Yes,
you thought you were going to get me then, didn't you?
Yeah.
You thought you were going to get me.
No, that's it.
No.
I was like, we were chatting on one of Steve's videos.
The only thing I base is men. That is it. No vehicles, no ships, no planes, unless they come with a flying stand, and that's the only time they get based. And that's it. But if I could work out a way to make things hovertate with gravity with really powerful magnets, then yes, I would do that instead.
So here's a question for you.
Thought...
I thought I was going to see bases.
No.
Yeah.
You disappointed?
I'm not. I'm pleased that you stick to your guns in a way. I'm also disappointed I can't now rip the piss.
Yeah.
But
I'm glad to see.
I've got a question for you.
That shit behind stick. Oh god.
So hang on. So what happens? So when you buy something new, are you now going to assemble it, put it in an envelope, and put it in the box? Because that would just wind me up. Are you gonna get like, I don't know? You're gonna buy your next medieval thing and then it's going in the box.
No. See, this is the thing, right? So I've got this box here from. Let's get it down. So I've got this box from the Perry's, didn't I? So what I've been doing is I've been doing a sprue at a time.
Yeah.
So when I've done a sprue of these, so when I've done these archers, I'll do what's in this brown bag. Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's like a reward sort of thing. So I do what I really want to paint.
Right.
Put it back in the box. Put it
What
back
I
up
really
there.
want to paint.
Yeah, what I really want to paint. Yeah, put it back in the box, and then I have to paint what's in this brown bag before I get to touch what I really want to paint again.
See, I had a plan
'Cause-
like that, but the boxes slowly, the paper bags and the boxes slowly work their way to the bottom, and then they never come back up again.
But I'm also not buying another box. I withheld. I went to a model shop the other day, and I could have quite easily bought the French version of this, or I could have bought some knights or something like that, and I didn't. And I was very tempted. I thought, oh, there's 15 knights in there. That'd be all right. That won't take long to paint.
15. Oh,
yeah.
See, that's it. That's awesome. That's 12 for the unit and 3 for commanders.
What are you trying to do to me? You're trying
I'm
to
just
make me
showing you
have a pile of shame.
just showing you the light.
Yeah, you are showing me the light. Well, yeah, cheers. but yeah, so that's the old plan of the brown bag.
I think that's cool.
Yeah, it's worth an idea in it. I don't know if anyone in the chat does anything similar or if they're not that fucking crazy, but yeah. There we go. I'm a bit nuts and everyone knows it, but yeah. What are people saying in the chat, Martin?
Oh,
I can't
hang
see.
on, yeah.
I can't see the busy boy chat.
You can't see the busy boy chat.
No.
Busy boy chat.
We've got so Peter Little's here. He says hello. So I know we've got.
Thanks everyone for not coming to mine.
It's all right. I'll do it again next week, and Dom will be back, and it'll just go. It'll just be a tumbleweed, and my wife watching.
Oh no! It'd be funny. Just keep it on Martin's channel, just to annoy Dom. That'd be funny.
You're in Hannah and Low. Damn, it's Miller Miniatures. Hello. I was chatting to Miller last night actually on Discord. Weirdly, I've done loads of work near where he lives. Some of these people I've never met before. Hello, Bite-sized Wargaming. What else have we got? I've also been told that we're all brush lickers.
Yes, we are. It tastes so great, especially metallic.
And Leslie's in. Hello, Leslie.
Hello, Leslie.
And Miller's just said to you, Ken, you got to make sure that you string your bows.
I will with these.
And unfortunately, one of my good friends, Andy Whelan's watching in the bath. So there we go. Hello, Andy.
Lovely. But yeah, that's what we're doing. Well, I told you, what are you painting? Sorry, I didn't ask you, Martin. Did I? Did you say
Medievals? Did like?
Oh yeah, that was it. You just paint men at arms. Yeah. There you go. Yeah. Okay. So obviously we haven't got Dom with us this week, leading the schedule. So it's going to be a bit open house this one. So first thing I think we might tackle, because we don't do it on a straight away basis normally. Let's shake it up a bit. Why don't we tackle questions of the week? Okay.
All right.
So we got Peter Little's question of the week, and also Leslie has sent in a question this week as well. Let's start with Leslie's questions. Sorry, where is it? Dom did send them to us. So yeah, so questions from Leslie. So what gets you into a new period? Your gaming friends get you interested, for example, or do you see beautiful sculpture figures and things like that, painted up in very like colourfully, so really nice paint jobs basically, or like have you watched films, TV series, or read a book that gets you interested into a new period? So what is it that actually gets you into it? Do you want to kick this one off, mine?
Peer pressure.
Yes, I know that one. I know that one very well.
Honestly, mostly sometimes it's when a new range comes out. It will probably not surprise you to understand that I'm interested in the Franco-Prussian stuff for some reason. I can't imagine why.
No,
but
not at all.
also, so if I see a new range or a new game, sometimes films and books have a lot to do with it. The Wars of the Roses stuff came about because I went on the Perry's Facebook page and they started doing the Wars of the Roses campaign. And I'd already been interested in the Wars of the Roses, and then watching their campaign and how they'd done things like, yeah, that's a done deal. Then I started reading more fiction and non-fiction around it, and it was like, no, this is awesome. I need to dedicate more time to this and less to my children. Yeah, but no, paint jobs, other people's paint jobs, definitely. get me excited. But a lot of the time where I play, because it's let's say a small club, small group of friends that play together. One of us will get a game. We will sort of will have a chat about it. It's like, guys, who wants to be the British? Who wants to be the French? It's kind of what happened with Muskets and Tomahawks for us. And then you kind of, because a lot of historical war games don't pigeonhole you into one line of miniatures. So you can go off and do research. You can get Perry, you can get Warlord, you can get Front Rank, and you go off and you can find all those. So yeah, primarily I would say it would be learning or researching a new period and going, I wonder if there's a war games range for this, and there usually is.
Yeah, because we're all like history nerds, aren't we? So
yes.
It's one of those things we just seem to get into, isn't it? It's just a natural phenomenon for us people like us. It's gonna happen at some point. Something's gonna take your fancy. But yeah, no, that's really cool. What about you, Steve?
Like Martin said, for me, it's probably research, books, or watching a film, or watching a documentary. It'll spark an idea. But do you know what the main thing, the main one for me is? It's other people's YouTube videos.
Right. Okay. Yeah, Martin's caught me with that.
It's not that. It's
right,
Miller was having a go at me earlier about something like that on Discord. Something about my videos and him ending up buying things.
No, because after watching Martin's last video, it's not a period. I put my comment. It's not a period I really know a lot about, or I've certainly never gamed it or painted that period. So so I would say it's picking up a book or watching a documentary or something of that nature. But for the most part, no, it's seeing what people are working on and finding a game or a range that you've never considered before. And just thinking, oh, that looks really interesting. I might have me some of that.
That's always a nice feeling.
But yeah, so that's that. Yeah, and it's good. It's good when you see people who are sort of passionate about a particular game or a particular period that you don't know about. And that really, I think that comes through on the videos.
That's cool.
So you think, well, if it gets them, if it gets them kind of enthused and excited like that, maybe I should look into it. But yeah, I think for me, and it's probably it's probably a dangerous thing watching YouTube videos, because you end up with about a million different projects on the go, or there's things you want to do, and you're like, well, I'll try and do that in about 4.5 years' time when I've got space for it in my calendar. But for the most part, it's going to be other people, and sort of just documentaries and books, really.
That's documentaries and books. Hence my purchase when I was under the influence of Carthaginian elephants and guards, which is still sitting in a box behind me waiting. But I just
put them in a brown bag, mate.
It'd be a big bloody brown bag. It's got two elements. I suppose as well, I was just thinking, see, the guy I play Wars of the Roses against, because we started getting Burgundian allies and started having a look at probably the French Burgundian War. Do you know anything about that?
No,
neither do I really, but it looks cool, and Perry makes some nice models, so I'm tempted to actually have a look at that. What about you?
No. Me, it is what Steve was saying, YouTube and films, mainly for me, and audiobooks. So for me, I've got some films that got me right into World War II, like the old classics, like A Bridge Too Far. You got Guns of Navarone. You got Kelly's Heroes and all that sort of jazz. Classic films. Really got me into it. And it's not good because there is some great shot war movies that really get you into thinking, oh, I could do this period. I'll just name a few, right? You've got The Patriot for the American War of Independence. You've got The King on Netflix for Agincourt, the 100 Years' War. You've obviously got Bridge Too Far for World War II. You've got Waterloo. You've got Gettysburg for the American Civil War, and you're like, all these films every time I watch them, all I want to do is paint that range. So like, if I watch Gettysburg, all I want to be doing is painting some Union and Confederates, and I'm like,
Yeah.
why have I not got these in 6mm yet? I've been saying it for 2 years, but why haven't I got them yet? And it's like, oh yeah, because I've got this other massive pile of shame behind me, even now a box of shame, so I've hidden it away, so it's fine. And I'm thinking that's why I haven't done it. And especially like the War of Independence, that was that stuff I bought was because I watched The Patriot, and I was like, I need me some of them Rebs. And I was like, oh man. And then I bought some, and I bought a box of British as well, and I was like, oh yeah, Black Powder, that looks good. And I was like, oh, I'd love to play that. And then I thought, who am I going to play Black Powder against? And I was thinking, oh, I don't really know anyone, but now I know someone called Martin. It's like,
yeah, it's good. Yeah. I mean, that's the thing though. It doesn't even necessarily matter on the quality of what you're watching, because there's some cool scenes in so many films. I mean, I'm not the biggest fan of like films like Braveheart or Troy or things like that in terms of like historical story, but there's the actual scenes in there. So it's like what's the Jude Law the World War II film, The Sniper?
Enemy at the Gates.
It's historically and with the accents and everything, but there's some wicked scenes. There's some really, really cool scenes and stuff in there.
Stalingrad in German, it really very much makes you want to play the Battle of Stalingrad.
Yeah,
it's like wow.
The last time I watched that, I had to stop myself from buying a couple of boxes of Blitzkrieg Plastics by Warlord, because I really want to do a summer Stalingrad German army. And even in my head, I was like, all right, the bases, there'll be bricks. We'll be able to do really cool, funky bases with like ruined masonry. And I was like, no, just stop. You've got about 1 million different things to paint.
No,
it's amazing how watching a film. It was like, what was that? The 3-part series on Netflix, Generation
War.
Is
brilliant.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think I did spend most of that just sort of looking at it, just feeling quite sort of like emotionally haggard. By the end of that, I was sitting there going, I'm not sure, like, I was like, the war stuff, like, it was just so vivid. At the end of it, I was just sitting there feeling like, just really kind of
drained.
It was draining.
Just going to go to bed now, which is a sign of a good, something good. Someone's just said, I'll go back through the comments here, but someone said, what about Waterloo? Yes, Waterloo. But if I watch it too much, I'll start. They'll just be what I saw somebody online who had made. Obviously, they've got all their regiments, their battalions, like I have, just on bases, and you form line and you form column. But for when they form square, they'd made individual dioramas.
I want to do that.
Squares. But that means that they've doubled up on every single battalion that they've got. And they're amazing. And you've got all the guys kneeling, you've got fallen cuirassiers around them, you've got guys in the centre of the square holding the flag, dead drummer boys, and it looked awesome. I mean, I'd love to do that, but I mean, at the moment, I've already got. Well, if we go with the British and the Hanoverians, there's 17 line battalions. So I need to do 17 bases, large, big bases in square.
Do you know what? It is one of those things, and you look at it at the time, you think, you can just it's instant. You picture your army in your head, painted, based in front of you, and you can see it. It's like it's in virtual reality in VR, and you can see it, and you're like, oh, that looks so good. And you're thinking, oh, that's all right. I'll just buy a couple of boxes and have these done in 2 weeks' time.
I was like earlier this year.
Never the case, is it?
Earlier this year when I did those Western Desert SAS Raiders.
Yeah.
I painted the entire box in I think it's about 2 weeks.
Yeah.
But they came out exactly how I imagined I wanted them to look. Even because I went from the base. I thought the bases first, and I thought, right, I'll get some figures for these bases. But they just turned out the way that that box by Warlord, the British Commonwealth Infantry box. Oh, it's so good, good. So just really, really good to work with, and the parts fit with so many other boxes as well. So yeah, if you're into the old kit bashing, it's a bit of a godsend. Yeah,
but no, it's just the problem, isn't it? You watch all these different periods, and if you watch like the the Pacific theatre for like the Band of Brothers one as well. That makes you start thinking of the Marines and thinking, oh yeah, they would be cool as an alternative US force because you don't really see them very much, and you're like, oh yeah, it'd be really cool to paint them. And it's like me, right? I'm not kidding you, right? As soon as I watched Martin's first episode, it was episode 3 I watched it first, yeah, and then I went back and watched 1, and I was like, no, I watched episode 3 again because I just liked how you had this terrain set up, and I loved how all the British were in their battalions, and it was all set up line. You had the French, and I was just like, I need that. I need that in my life.
You need that. It is one of the things I'll say. Out of all the games I play, and I have played, and we say this, me and my friends who play, I think Black Powder is the best looking game, or Napoleonic game is the best looking game set up.
Oh yeah,
with the battalions.
I've never played a single Napoleonic game in my life, but of all the systems and the periods, and they always look, and it doesn't matter what scale it's in, whether it's 6 mil up to 28 mil.
It looks great.
It just looks so appealing on the tabletop. And there's one where you've got a where was I? It was always the Warlord Games 10th birthday bash, and they had this massive game of Black Powder, and there must have been over, I think someone said there was over 10,000 individual figures on this table. It was huge, and it just looked, it was immense. And yeah, but I think I can't paint Napoleonics, so it'll never happen to me.
No, well, this is the funny thing, because obviously I've attempted the Spanish Napoleonics, but the problem is, I'm going to have to paint French and British, or because I'm going to want to play against somebody, or I could just paint a British army and play Martin's French, or vice versa.
Yeah.
And it's like, or just go to Martin's house and play his French. Yeah.
That's the thing. Well, that's the thing. I've got both armies. This is the kind of the thing I'm learning these days. Is when we used to get into war games, like, oh, I'll be the French, you be the British, I'll be the Necrons, you be the Marines, whatever.
And you've always got to play that person.
And it's like, whereas now I kind of like when I'm getting into things like, right, I'll do the French and the British. Or I mean, if I got into Black Powder because I won a box set which had the French and British in it. I think if I'd have gotten into it by, I don't want to say by choice, because I obviously it was by choice, I wasn't forced. But if I had done it by designing my own, I'd have probably done the Russians and the French and done the invasion of Russia.
Okay.
Because.
So why haven't you started the Russians then?
Because I've got too many bloody British to pay. I've got so down here I've got. Hang on a minute. 48, 72 British cavalry.
Yeah.
What? 72 French cavalry. 48 more Prussians. And that's just the plastics. Another 60 Old Guard, because I got the Victrix pack comes with 60 in it. And then metals, I've just got just piles and piles of metals. So the Russians.
So when's Haley going to help you paint?
Haley helped me paint some Dark Elf crossbowmen in 2006.
He still remembers the day.
Yeah, because at the time, she's going to kill me for this. At the time, we'd only just started going out, and I think she was pretending to be interested in all aspects of my life.
Do you know what? I love that part about women.
Although, and then it's taken her 14 years to come back around. Like, but the thing is, again, she's still enjoying it because she keeps on taking the mick out of me. So, especially when she sees people's comments, because I know now she's going through the comments on the videos.
Yes, she is.
So she's got that.
She just replied to a few of mine. It's quite funny, but yeah. So you have got a fair bit to do. But here's the question, right? Here is the question, right? And this will lead on from Leslie's question now, but thank you very much, Leslie. It was a really good question.
Yeah, that's a good question.
I hope we answered it all right. But what would you say? Okay, so you've got some French Napoleonics and you've got some British Napoleonics, right? And I've got, say for example, I've got some Agincourt archers, yeah?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. you're looking at your French Napoleonics going, I really don't want to paint them, but I do want them painted up. And I'm looking at my Agincourt archers and saying, I really want to. I don't want to paint these, but I would really love it if they're painted up. Would you ever trade with other people to paint their models and they paint yours?
Only if it was cavalry.
I'm going to say no.
You like all your stuff on your own?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Actually, no, there's an exception. If someone wants to paint my Blood Bowl Orcs, the last 4, yeah, knock yourself out. Because there's far too much red on these guys, and
I love painting red.
It's making me slightly ill.
I love painting red.
I can't stand it. No.
I don't know why people don't like painting red.
I've spent years and years and years painting Warlord games, and then you pick up a giant, great big Games Workshop figure. There's about 3 times as much plastic in one of their figures as there is in about a whole box of my Warlord games Germans. So there's a plastic to paint ratio that I'm not entirely comfortable with here.
Oh my god, Steve! I just thought the ultimate thing for you. You could have done your Blood Bowl team based on World War II Germans, your orcs. You could have kit bashed them to be World War II German orcs.
Yeah, you can get little orc heads with German helmets on from Cromlech.
Oh yeah, from Cromlech. Yeah, they do that. Years ago, I an Imperial Guard Cadian army, and they're painted as Germans.
Right. Okay. Bit like the old Death Corp of Creed. Creed.
I've got yeah. I mean, I've got them. Yeah, there's a tail attached. Then they're just. I've got 2 boxes of them, and I've never used them. I've chopped them into pieces a bit for kit bashing, but yeah, they weren't the best. But yeah, in answer to your question, I don't think I couldn't play with somebody else's painted miniatures in my army. I don't know when I don't know what it is. It's just one of those things.
Yeah. But what if they did the whole? What if they did the whole project? So they did your whole of your German army, or the whole of your, say, American army, and you did their, I don't know, Japanese, for example, because you really didn't want to paint the American
project. Yeah. Yeah. If I needed, I think actually no. Saying that, I think I would probably do it with Napoleonics.
There you go. There you go. See,
because I would love to own a full Napoleonic army, but I know that it would take me the best part of about 10,000 years to actually paint enough to have a decent game with them.
Yeah, so, that's what I mean. So then you painted their Germans, for example.
Yeah, I mean, if they were saying I don't like painting World War II stuff, but we will barter, and you paint this and I'll paint that. Yeah, I think this is like some kind of open word therapy session. This, yeah, I'm conquering my painting demons here. It's brilliant.
Yeah, it's me wheeling and dealing again, isn't it?
Yeah, he's going to pull. Yeah. Basically, he's going to pull out an envelope of something he doesn't want to paint, and then it's going to be coming your way. If he sends you, that's fine. If he sends you a tank, just paint it and then chuck it on a base and send it back.
Oh yes. What size base would you like with that tank, sir?
A1, please. A1. I'd like a little diorama. Oh dear. But yeah, no, I just had the idea because I thought sometimes you get into a real paint grind. You think, I'd love to see this model painted, but I really don't want to paint it. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. No, I know. I mean, it's like the same.
And it sits there unpainted for years, doesn't it?
I've had my Blood Bowl team for 3.5 years. It's taken me 3.5 years to paint 8 orcs.
That's what I mean. It'd just be nice. It's just one of those things, isn't it? That's what I meant. So, like, that was the whole point with the Napoleonic side of things, is you really don't like doing that, but some people really like doing that, and some people may not really like painting Germans. So it's like a win-win, isn't it?
Yeah, I mean, to be fair, I mean, it's a pretty corking idea, actually. It's like it's not. It wouldn't be. It's sort of that I bartering. So yeah, no, I applaud that. That's quite a rather good concept, actually.
Yeah. You both get something you want at the end of the day. So, what do people think about that in the chat? I'm sure I'm being slated already.
I'm just going through it. There's a lot. They're all cherry shot. Hang on. There's another question in the chat. I'll come to that one in a second.
Yeah.
I've got people blaming me for them buying medievals.
Bite-sized
wargaming.
I'm not being horrible, mate, but I'm one of them.
Peter Little, I've got some medieval sprues from Fleabay because of Martin's video. Okay, well, to be fair, that's where I get most of mine. Has the pile of models in lockdown gone up or down? It's stayed the same. I got through it and then replaced it quickly. What else we got? Tim Bix is here. Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
Hi, Tim.
What else have we got? Hang on, so I'm just trying to scroll through. My mate's slating me about Napoleonics. Brilliant. So Tim Bix has then gone and saying 144 cavalry is gross. Yep. Nice one.
Yeah.
Brilliant.
Mine likes nothing better.
And
that's gonna be a crap load of brown paper bags, that, Martin.
It will be, because the only place they'll be going is they'll be black and they'll be going in the bin. There'll be just be black bin liners. I mean, I don't know what it is.
I'd paint your cavalry. I would paint your cavalry.
I don't care if people want to paint it's the horses. It's the horses that do it. I'll send you. Oh, brilliant! I'll send you all my. I'll send you. Can I do it for every horse? Because I've got 144 Napoleonics. I've got. Oh, I forgot about those ones. I've got 48 Polish behind me. I forgot about them.
Send me 3 pots of contrast paint.
Yeah. Oh, right. Oh, yeah. No. I want nice varied coats. I want some,
I'll send a full highlight 'em. Yeah, I'll send a full highlight 'em for you.
It's just the horses. The riders, it doesn't bother me. That's fine. It's just the horses. It kills me. I don't know what it is. Yeah. But I'm getting over it with the contrast. I think someone in the chats just said that as well. I've got someone's. Oh, bollocks! I just dropped the phone. There we go. Someone's got.
Yeah, go on.
Someone's got a question. During the question for everyone, this is from GP. During the lockdown, have we been fanatically building up our own terrain collections with no access to club or shop gaming? Terrain Tutor back catalogue has been a godsend. Well, you've done a video, haven't you, already?
Yes, yeah, and you still haven't released.
I'm gonna build it. I've got to build it. I'll show mine off. There we go. Look, hang on. I'll show it off. Yes. So I recently just built this, which is my World War II just generic bunker with my little Germans in there, just for scout.
It's nice.
It took me about an hour to build it and less than an hour to paint it. There was one coat of paint, and the rest of it's all just flocks. And
so you need brown in it. You just need a brown paint.
That's it. And that was for the woodwork, because the dirt is all just ground covers that I use. I don't dry brush anything. I don't do any of that anymore.
No.
So yeah, I'll be doing a tutorial on that, and that was all made out of odds and ends. So I'll be doing that maybe this week. I'll try and do a tutorial, but that's the only bit of terrain I've made for ages. So
yeah, mine's trees. I made a lot of trees, as you can see in the video that I've done. And I've also been sent some fantasy terrain to review. That cardboard stuff that you clip together and you can do it all over.
Oh,
can you use battle systems?
Yes, I've seen the my mate's got the post-apocalyptic stuff. That's wicked.
Yeah. So I'm looking forward to doing that review. I'm not going to do a review of me building it all, because they've got some great videos online. They do YouTube videos of their instructions of how to build everything, take you through it. But I'm just going to review the terrain overall, what I think of it, and I think it'd be really good for Oathmarks and D&D. If you play D&D, that stuff's like really cool. Yeah. You can make a little village out of it. Do you know the one thing that I want and I still haven't bought, and I keep meaning to go on to not eBay, but like Alibaba or Geek or something like that, is you get those roll-up grass mats that are like got mud and stuff in it. They're about 17 quid for a 7x5, and I keep meaning to go on there and buy one because I need one. I've got the squares that you always see us playing on, but I need a grass mat. If I'm going to play medievals or I'm going to play Napoleonics, I need a mat like that. That's really Yeah, you need one piece, otherwise it just doesn't look right.
Have you seen this is this American company that's just released a 7x5 static grass mat that looks amazing.
Yeah.
I can't remember what it's called, but it's about this thick because it's got this nylon backing, so it doesn't just when you put something underneath it to make a hill, it doesn't just drop straight away. It actually goes, smooths out
Okay,
quite nicely.
that sounds awesome.
I'll send you a link. The cost of like importing it will probably cost more than like
I
the
don't
actual
care.
product. Yeah. Actually, yeah, Steve.
I don't care.
Steve, do you build terrain? Because you build such really cool bases. So do you do terrain as well?
No, well,
especially for your tanks.
The last terrain I did was I've made some really basic log bunkers using those willow edge things that I use for basing.
Right.
I built a load of jungle scenery for our games of bolt action, but I don't know. It's probably something I should spend more time doing because I like making. Actually, last year I made a couple of wheat fields out of a doormat.
Oh, what, like a core mat?
They've been.
Yeah. Oh yeah, they're so easy, aren't they?
This was just a chop it into a rectangle, stuck it to a table mat, and then used plaster, like spackle around the outside, painted it, bit of flock, and built some built some little fences out of balsa wood and coffee stirrers. I took an afternoon to build, so I don't know. I'm not a massive terrain builder. The most I've ever made was the jungle scenery bolt action, which was just gluing a load of those cheap ass plastic palm trees to CDs. But that's about it. And if I do buy MDF stuff, I don't tend to paint it. I just stick it onto a base and then put some mixed herbs in the bottom. But yeah, I really should. I'm planning another video because when I made that log bunker, it was only a small one. I've actually made one about 3 times as big.
Oh wow!
But I want to turn a corner into like a command center with tables and maps and guns and stuff.
Oh, wicked!
But yeah, those willow edges, they're absolute godsend for basing and terrain building. £1 for about 60 of them. It's like long, like really long, like tree, really small like trees. But yeah, if they're really good for building terrain.
Yeah. I tell you what, I want to get is some of that coconut fiber.
Oh yeah,
because I just want to make a load of hedges.
I did that.
You just want about 20 hedges or something like that. So you've got so many hedges, you couldn't run out. Same as trees.
Yeah. Do you know what I've used? What I use for hedges is rubberized horsehair, stuff they use for upholstery.
Yeah.
It's dirt cheap. You can get. I got a box for about £6, and there's more. There's more stuff in there now. Oh, I can't remember. I don't know whether it was off eBay or not.
Yeah, I've seen scouring pads, the thin ones where you fold them in half.
Oh yeah. But I wanted these were good because I wanted when I was doing the jungle scenery. So I've used it as scatter. I've used it as hedges. But I've got loads of it, and the only problem is it stinks.
Yeah.
Right.
It smells bad.
It doesn't smell the greatest.
I used some coconut fiber to do one, and I made a whole load of hedges. I was really pleased. I used those knock leaves. I used a aerosol glue to get them all on. I was well chuffed, and I keep my scenery in the shed. And then a mouse got into the cupboard, and it turned all of my scenery and my teddy bear fur mats that I'd made into its new home. So on some of my videos, you might see that in the fields, in the teddy bear fur fields, there's a lone tree, and that's the hole that the mouse made. So it's a real convenient hole for me to put them in. Someone's just put in the chat. GP's just put in the chat for static grass mats. Look for moss mats on eBay. And I know what he means. I've seen these before. It's kind of stuff you see on displays in like Christmas when they do like a grotto. You see a moss mat, and they come in about 1 meter by 1 meter, and it looks amazing, this stuff. And if you, as he says in here, all you got to do is like spray it to seal it with like hairspray or varnish or whatever's your poison for that. And they do look really, really cool. So that's something else to look at.
Yeah.
If you had some baseboards and you just glued it onto that, or you could leave it loose, but I don't know if it would start to come apart.
Well, that's the problem with the baseboards I was finding is, one, it's storage heavy.
Yeah.
That's why I was just after a 7x5 I can just roll out. But no, that's a really good idea. But I'll show you this. This is old GW book from
yeah.
when is this? When is this?
Blimey,
2000.
That's a relic.
I don't know if it's focusing, but you can see the scouring pad technique and stuff like that. Just really basic bits and bobs. Probably Games Workshop would do me for copyright now. You watch.
Well, that's when they used to sort of tell you how to make your own terrain out of
Yeah, exactly. So you got the scouring pad thing, and you got wooden fences, and I keep meaning to do it all. And do you know what? I think what I'm going to do is I might take a week off of painting models after I've done these whatever's in here, and maybe just do some basic terrain like some hedges and some fences, because you can never have too much of that stuff, can you? Let's be honest.
No. It's sort of
you want an endless supply of it, don't you? You just want loads of it, and
especially for bolt action. I mean, I love both games of bolt action where the whole table is just riddled,
crammed with terrain.
It just makes for a much better game.
Yeah, I tell you what, bit of terrain. I mean, for me, for ages, I think I'm there now because I've got enough. Because I bought them off of Last Valley because his terrain is wicked, and I got them off it. But roads, for a long time, roads were a real thing because I had about maybe 6, and I could only set them up so many ways and couldn't really create sort of interesting layouts particularly. So I kind of went, no, that's what I'm going to do. I'm just going to get loads of like 45-degree turns and Y junctions and T junctions, and
so you've got enough.
Yeah, I've got plenty. I think I've got about 24 foot of road.
Well, that's what me and that's what me and Liam did. Is I just followed Mel the Terrain Tutor's tutorial for his roads, his lollipop sticks, and did just loads of them. I did like 18, 20 pieces of it. And believe it or not, if you come into Warfare, there's a guy every year brings like a bag, like several bags worth of like rivers, roads, and things. Last year, you see all the rivers I had doing my battles, like my battle reports. He sells them like a bag of like 20 pieces for 20 quid.
Wow, that's mental. Wow.
So he doesn't make any real profit on it. Just cheap, and it really works. So
my roads are probably the only piece of scenery that I've actually really invested in. The other stuff's just kind of made or got it dirt cheap. I actually invested in about 30 feet of resin road.
Yeah.
I mean, it comes on. I mean, unfortunately, the guy that sold it to me, he had to shut his company down a couple of years back. He wasn't making any money off it. But yeah, as soon as I saw his road, it's like a rural road. It comes unpainted, so you got to all I did was paint it brown and put flock down the edges. But it looks really good, and it was something. I thought I don't want to mess around with road. I want some decent road, so I thought I'll invest in this. But it's probably the only real investment I've actually made into scenery.
Okay.
Yeah. But no, that's the thing in its scatter. It's just like so handy and so useful. But I've got something from the chat here to do with bolt action. So. Mine, do you play bolt action, don't you? Well,
yes.
You've done bolt action, haven't you?
Yeah. I've got bolt. I've got bolt action.
Yeah. So, a couple of questions. It's from Horace Lupercal.
Okay.
And he's
everyone needs hobby.
Yeah, exactly. What's your favourite bolt action army, and which theatre? He says he loves his Africa Corps and the African campaign all together. He loves that. So that's his favourite. But what about you, Martin? What's your favourite?
I have a British Paras army. That's my bolt action army. Because I bought another World War II game, I'm going to be making lots and lots of little armies, lots of little squads, because it's only squad level. So I'm going to buy lots of different packs. If I could make one of choice, which obviously I can do, but that'll mean less time for medievals. I would do a finish. I would do the Winter War, and I would make both sides. I'd do the Russians and I'd do the Finns, and then I would make a 4 foot by 4 foot, because I wouldn't do a massive army. I'll probably just do like, I don't know, maybe 500, 750 points, something like that. And I would make a 4x4 table and make it all snow and do that. So that would be. I mean, I might do maybe in the future.
One day.
Yeah. I mean, I did. I had when they used to do that build an army deal. I don't know if they still do it.
No.
But I had it all.
I loved that.
I had it all in the shopping cart. The finish. I had it all in there. I'd selected everything, and I hovered over, buy it now, and I didn't, which is and I can't remember why I didn't. Probably because I then went and bought some Napoleonics or something. But yeah. So no, Winter War. I'd like to do Winter War if I did something.
Winter War, yeah. What about yourself, Steve? It's going to be obviously.
Where to start? No, it's going to be late war Germans. 44, 45.
Yeah. What sort of theatre? Berlin.
For me, it's D-Day onwards. So Battle for Comm, Falaise, and then moving across into crossing into Germany, and then the defense of Berlin. For me, though, it's going to be probably June 44 till about January 45. That's my kind of optimum sort of theatre. Anytime I've played bolt action, I've always used the theatre selectors from that period. What I love about it is that it's such a fascinating era of the war. It's all coming to a head, especially from a German perspective. There's so much scope for modelling. You can throw in uniforms from the past 6 years. You can mix up squad. There's just so much scope for. You're not limited to one uniform. You can throw in camouflage. You can throw in all your different ranges of field grey, and it gives the army a more unique ragtag, battered campaign feel.
It's like they're camp group, isn't it?
Yes. Oh, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
So all you do is you just grab bits from here, bits from there, and so that I would say 100%, even without having to think about it, that would be my that's my period for bolt action.
Yeah.
Go on then, Ken.
British Expeditionary Force.
Right, yeah.
Or Home Guard for me. I'd love to do proper little thematical Home Guard army. Obviously, I've got the Dad's Army stuff. That's all painted now. But yeah, all their little weird and wonderful contraptions. But if I could do one, it'd be the British Expeditionary Force. There's no reason I can't do it. I'm just not a great fan of the British plastics from Warlord Games. I'm just not a great fan of them.
No.
They're quite. They're a little bit outdated, just a tad.
Yeah.
I've got them.
Ever.
That's the problem.
Yeah,
I've got them, and they're just not right. The rifles don't match up. Because this is the problem I found. It's all well and good having stuff you can kit bash, but if you got a beginner who's never done it, he's like, oh no, no. If you're new to it, try not to get the British Army. Get the Airborne.
Yeah.
They're much better value for
my my army's even before that comes. My Airborne army's entirely metal.
Oh, you got the Red Devil stuff.
Yeah. I got that. God, ages ago now. So yeah, mine's entirely metal. I remember finishing it, and I went to Warlord a couple of years ago, and they just released that plastic Airborne pack, and I was looking at it going, "Are you joking?" After how long I spent looking at it doing these metals.
But yeah, no.
Do you know what the
go on.
That the British infantry box? Do you know what that came in really handy for? When I was kit bashing a section of Volksturm, I want them to look like old men, and all the heads in that box, they all look like in their 70s.
Yeah.
They all look really old. So I just used them on plastic winter German bodies in greatcoats. And we had old looking civilians. But yeah, it's a very strange box. Speaking of the Warlord Plastics, did you all vote in their poll earlier this year?
Yeah, I voted for
What was this?
fins. I voted for fins.
What was this?
Did you not see this poll?
No. What was it?
There's a poll for like plastic kits that what you want them to do next, and they gave you a load of choices. I can't remember what one, but I voted for fins.
Was it all bolt action?
Yeah,
that's probably why I didn't vote. That's probably.
Kent, did I vote for?
Germans?
Plastic BEF. No, plastic BEF.
Yeah, I don't know what one. Do you know what one?
No, I think what we're going to do was just use it as a sort of a guide to kind of test what the community was feeling at the time. I was struggling between plastic French and plastic BEF, but I've just started painting or repainting my old metal French, so I know by sod's law it's going to be plastic French they're going to release.
Yeah. It'd be interesting to see what it is.
Have either of you made up? I don't know. You see, my mate made this up because he with his Germans. There was a pattern when we went to Warlord. They had this model for a while. They put it together, but the Germans nicked a bunch of the universal carriers and then chucked a pack on them, and they would motor around in that. He got them, and Warlord did a kit for a while. Where basically they gave you the universal carrier frame from the British, and then the pack, and then you could kit bash together, and it looks awesome. I'm also kind of gutted that the British don't have access to it because it's really annoying getting blasted off the board by something that's motoring around with a pack on it, and I'm going around with a Bren gun going, come on, this is ridiculous.
Yeah, why didn't we put a 6-pounder on a Bren carrier? No, I've never done one of them, but now I'm trying to think. Wargaming that or a Supercal. Hello, my friend. Oh, I'm reading the comments. Sorry, Martin. I just completely forgot. Then we were on stream. But how did they fit it in there?
It's on a mount. But I don't know. The same way they fit an 88 on a tank. They just put it on there and then just made the tank big enough to carry it. That's me. I don't know. I'm very oversimplifying German engineering there quite a bit. But...
Yeah, just.
I wouldn't fancy being it. I wouldn't fancy being anywhere near that thing when it's fire. I mean, if you're in a Tiger, you got an 88 in a massive, great big Tiger tank. No, you're pretty safe. When you've got
I can find a picture of it.
An anti-tank, welded onto the back of a universal carrier. I mean, health and safety would be slightly at the top of my concern there.
Yeah, I don't think the Germans worried about that at that point in the war. To be fair.
There you go. There's what. If I don't know if you'll be able to see this, but there's someone who's painted it up. Look, you can see that.
That's sweet.
That's class.
That looks so cool.
And you could what, like my mate's on. He's left sort of like some of the British markings showing through.
Oh, just to piss you off.
Yeah, just to annoy me.
Plastic Luftwaffe Field Division for Horus Lupercal. It was a must for bolt action. Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Everything in plastic would be great, wouldn't it? It's like what we had a chat with the Perrys about was they wish they could do everything in plastic, but they just can't because it's not economical enough to do it. But
they should just make everything I want in plastic and just send it to me. That's what they.
Yeah. What, free of charge as well?
I don't know. I don't want to engage in shameless self-promotion here, but on my channel, there's a video where I kit bash plastic Luftwaffe.
There you go. Check out On Point HQ's channel. But yeah, no.
That was just all I used was Blitzkrieg Germans and plastic grenadiers. Mixed them all together, threw in some Zeltbarn, painted them blue, and there we go. The Luftwaffe Field Division.
And it works.
Awesome. That's it. Medieval Warriors here. Hello, Nick.
Yeah, you're on Nick.
Hi,
yeah,
Nick.
He's over on my chat as well. Thanks, Nick. Nick's nice. He goes to both.
You need to chat to him, Ken, about 100 Years War stuff. You need to have a chat with him.
Yeah, I most certainly do. I certainly do. We should get him on. It's not selfish at all.
Someone's had a good question here. We might be a quick one if you've got a second. This is quite a good one. Is there any miniature you regret buying, and if so, what is it?
My God.
Oh, jeez.
Oh Christ. Yeah.
Don't know.
Yeah, actually, I've got one. The Forge World Eldar Avatar of Cain, because I could never do it justice.
Okay.
It's normally about this big if you buy it from like Citadel, their metal one back from like the late 90s, early 2000s. Oh, actually, I should show it's about that big. But the Forge World one that are fully resin is about that big. it's huge, and I just couldn't do it justice at the time. So yeah, it's for sale. If anyone wants to buy it, but no, that's probably the only one really.
I can't. I mean, I've bought miniatures and I've thought, yeah, that's not that I've regretted, but they've either been part of the set and I've never got. I just think, well, I'm not going to use them because they're not very good.
No,
but not that I've trying to think. Not regret. One of the ones that one of the ones that I was regretting while I was building it was the plastic Hetzer.
Oh yeah, any of the Italieri tanks. Oh yeah, I don't like building them.
Geez, that afternoon sent me slightly funny. It was just there was more there than needed to be there. But that wasn't really a regret. No, I can't really say anything that I regret that I've got it and I've thought that I don't like this. But yeah, I bought that and halfway through I thought I actually regret opening the box of this. But no, nothing really springs to mind.
No, nothing major. What about you, mine?
I regret in terms of it opening it up and going, oh no, I can't. I wish I couldn't sit this together. Not really. I kind of tend to. I don't know. I don't sort of operate that way. But in terms of buying it and regretting it because it sent me down a black hole of buying miniatures, definitely. Like I wish I'd never opened the La Haye Saint collector's set because now I have over 1,000 Napoleonic miniatures. I mean, I say I regret that. I love it. I regret showing Haley how to play Black Powder. I regret that. And I regret buying the 95th rifles. I really regret that. No,
I had those in my hand the other day.
I don't know. I was trying to think. What one kit? I mean, this is old now. So I bought the old GW metal Hydra for my Dark Elves. And it was one of the worst models I ever stuck together because you couldn't pin it because it was hollow and you couldn't pin the heads. And it was the most ludicrous. And I remember going into the shop and they were going, just green stuff it, just green stuff. I was like, that doesn't work because the head is longer than the body. I mean, it doesn't work. So it's top heavy. So it's on and that's where I learned the trick. So it's on a base and the back of the base is loaded with about £1 worth of 2p's to keep it back heavy, so it's kind of coming forwards like this. So I regret buying that. That was, and at the time that was a lot of money as well. I think that was about £25 for that like hunk of metal. I mean, the thing is that model weighs so much. If you put that in a sock and threw it and like hit someone with it, it would do some damage.
A bit like a Fulgrim Grudge Bearer. Yeah. He weighs a good I would say £2 in weight. He's just like literally heavy lead.
Yeah.
Actually, I can answer on behalf of my my regular gaming opponents. He bought the Mariner Warjack for War Machine.
Oh yeah,
right.
Yeah. Is that the one with all the barrels?
He spent about a foot. Yeah, and he just could not get that to go. It just would not go together. He used about 5 or 6 different brands of glue to try and make it stick, and it just would not. He tried pinning. Nothing would keep this thing together. So that's why we don't play War Machine.
Oh, that's good, isn't it?
Did you ever play what I played the first version of War Machine, and I absolutely just loved it. But I only ever knew one other person that played it, and then it just vanished off the radar. And one good thing was that they moved because the whole range used to be metal, and then they started doing things in plastics. But I couldn't find anyone anyone around here that played War Machine?
I've got a War Machine army, and I've got a Hordes army as well. I really.
See, I've got Cricks. Yeah.
Yeah, I've got
Cricks army.
Signar, the electric dudes. In fact, my friend Andy, who's in the chat, he's just given me all his Kador army, the Russian ones. Who don't have any sort of light warjacks, they've just got heavies because they don't do light stuff.
Just got heavies.
But he bought me one of my favourite models, which is his massive three-legged walker, which kind of conducts electricity. I really like War Machine.
It's a good game.
It's very competitive. It's probably the most competitive game I've played because the crunchiness, the system I really like. But I felt, I mean, even more than 40k or anything like that in terms of it, I found it because the whole ethos of War Machine is attack. It's just attack. Like, it's just getting involved, smashing, you know, sitting back. Doesn't matter if you sitting there and shooting at the back will not win. You just won't win. Everyone is encouraged to get involved, and that led to some very competitive play. In fact, that was the only time I kind of went to a club was to play War Machine, and I hated it because of how competitive it was. But yeah, I've got Hordes as well. I do enjoy those actually. They don't get as much love as probably they should. I should probably get that out a little bit more because the current system, the current edition is all free. Their rulebook is free online.
Where is it?
Yeah. It's I've printed it off there. It's from work. It's sitting there all nicely bound, all 300 pages of it.
I might have to do that. I mean, I've got Cricks because I just saw Undead Pirates. And I was like, that's me sold.
Yeah,
that's it.
Yeah, War Machine was my first. So when I got sick of, I think I said actually in my last video, when I got sick of painting GW stuff, I just looked around and I went in another hobby shop and they had this massive sort of Cricks dead horned satyr thing. And I was like, that's really different. I'm going to paint that, and then that's sort of what opened my eyes open to other systems and other gaming. I mean, that was years and years and years ago now. Back in its first edition.
We got into War Machine because we were in a it's closed now, our local game store, buying Flames of War stuff.
Yeah.
And it just had a big batch of War Machine stuff in. So we just got talking to him. So I think we both picked up the rule book there, and then I ordered the Crick starter, and then from that I was buying quite a bit every week. I just loved it. I love the mech and thralls, zombies with steam powered fists. You can't go wrong with that, can you? Really?
No. Have you ever played Ken? Have you ever played it? Have you?
No, never played it.
It's good. It's also a fairly quick game as well. Stuff doesn't hang around very much. It's very, very fast. But yeah, no, that's cool. Jay from NI Miniatures has just popped in. Hello.
Hello.
And Paul Richardson, he said he had version 2 Kador, but it got too compy. I don't know if you mean complicated or whether it's too competition led, but use the models in other games. But yeah, because there's a role playing game for it as well. I think the whole thing started off actually as a role playing game, and then it became a miniatures game, or a setting for a role playing game, and it became a miniatures game out of that. I've used more, but no, that my walker now sits in a cabinet in the other room, just there, just looking out. I don't think I've taken it out in about 2 years.
Probably covered in dust. Oh.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's a sad day. Use your airbrush to blow it all off, it'll be fine. That's all I'm gonna do. But yeah, no, I've got a question, Peter Little's question, if you want to do that next. It feels so weird not having Dom here saying all this.
He hasn't. Has he come on? Is he?
No. It's been good. It's been good unless he's been a silent partner.
It might be working.
Or he might not watch it. He might watch it like when he's doing like painting, because that's what I did. I watched you three when I was doing some painting, because it's like another video, isn't it? So Peter Little has said, which of these is the best value for money? This is controversial. Metal or plastic figures? And the next part of his question is, which of these is easiest to paint, metal or plastics? And then the third part is which of these is easiest to create a regiment with, metal or plastic figures. So I'm going to kick this one off. And I am going to go with which of these is the best value for money. Plastic is the best value for money because you can kit bash with it a lot easier than you can metal. So you can create a load of different things. And like what Steve does is he takes bits from different plastic kits that don't even belong together and he makes miniatures out of it that way, which I should start doing because it's a really good idea because you get unique figures. So that's that answer for me. And then I've got which of these is the easiest to paint, metal or plastic? Now, this is a very, very interesting question because you're depending on several factors there. Who the manufacturer is, whether you like painting detail or speed painting, and whether you paint on the sprue. Now, that's another question altogether. I don't paint on the sprue. I think it's wrong. but some people like to paint on the sprue, a bit like bases. That one's a bit harder. I'm gonna say plastic's easier because I would yeah. No, metal. I'm gonna go metal if it's sculpted by hand. Metal's easier to paint because it's sculpted by hand. A human sculpted it, so a human can paint it. And which of these is easier to create a regiment with, metal or plastic? I am definitely gonna say plastic again. So I've gone plastic, metal, plastic, and the reason for that is, like I was saying in the part of the first question, is plastic you can just sculpt different stuff and you get leftover bits, like leftover swords and stuff and this medieval stuff. I'm trying to work that into the bases and things, and yeah, I'm going to say plastic, metal, plastic. But what about you guys? So do you want to go, Steve?
What was the first question again?
Sorry, yeah, I've rambled on a bit then. Which of these is better value for money, plastic or metal?
Well, as you alluded to, for me, it's plastics because you don't just get one figure. So even if you get a box of Warlord Games with infantry for bolt action between 25 and 30,
yes,
you can use that across different systems, and you've got all the equipment you can reuse. I think it's just better value for money. Another thing as well is that if you want bits and pieces, you can pick up individual sprues from eBay for dirt cheap. You can't do that with
and even the manufacturers. You can pick up the stuff, can't you?
But for me, I just enjoy working with plastic. Actually, saying that, given how much fun I've had working on these metal miniatures over the past couple of days, I might change my tune. But no, better value for money is plastic. Easier to paint. I'm going to say metal.
Yeah.
I just think the more, I'm trying to think what's the best way. The figures are more solid. With plastic, you've added bits of equipment, so you've got to paint around it. Yeah, there's all nooks and crannies as well. Like you say, it depends whether you're speed painting, batch painting, or whether you're spending a bit more time on it.
Yeah, no, that's a very good point.
I think that that miniature I painted today. Okay, it was one dude and a dog. It took me about 2 hours to do. It was just no time, and that's from prime to finishing the base was just over 2 hours.
Yeah.
And I couldn't have done it. I don't know how to done it with a plastic miniature. So yeah, I'm going to say plastic, metal, and then putting together a regiment. Well, I don't field regiments. I field sections. But I'm going to say plastic again. Again, you can switch out between different kits. You can personalize them, you can kit bash them, you can make unique personalized models, and you generally tend to get a better variation. I mean, even if you've got to do a head swap, or you can do a quick slice with a craft knife, and you've got a different shaped leg or a different shaped arm. There's more scope for changing the figure with plastic, so you get sections that are more unique to you that no one else is going to have. So mine would be plastic, metal, plastic.
Very cool. What about yourself, Martin?
I'm going to ask you to read back number one as well now, because
better value for money, metal or plastic?
Better value for money.
Yeah.
That to me, that entirely depends on manufacturer, because there's a certain really large company that does a lot in plastic, who I think is not worth necessarily the money that you pay for.
You can name them if you want to.
Let's call them Fun Workshop, and they. But if we're talking historicals, which is what we're then plastics. I mean, we just gotta like go back to what the Perry said, which is they started their company and did those box sets so people could build large armies quickly with a variety of poses. And so you buy like a box of Perry Men at Arms. There's 44 models in that. Victrix, you get 60. For 20 quid, 24 quid. That's so plastic for that. Historical metal models, I think though, are still quite good value. You can get like packs of 8-9 models for still only less than a tenner.
They're good to mix in, aren't they?
Yeah, which is what. Yeah, so I can't even tell you which one's metal now. Actually, this guy's metal and this guy isn't. So that's what I tend to do. So so plastic basically. If we're saying historicals, I'll say plastic for number one. Then number two is what's better to paint,
which is easier to paint.
It's easier to paint.
Yeah,
I think metal models have more texture. Also, with plastic models, certain companies, when you're painting them, there's a tendency to be lots of areas of blank space where the washes will pool if you're not careful, and you're just left with a blank space. And you're like, what do I do with that? I usually paint like blood splatter or with dirt or something over it to try and just do something with it. But plastic models with CAD now, and this CAD designs, plastic models are getting more and more texture. But then that's transferring over to metal. So I'll say metal for number two. Unless you get like mind you, it happens in plastic as well, where you get like a miscast face or something. And the last one was what's easiest to build a regiment from?
Yeah.
I mean, purely from what's available on the market, plastic. Just because I can buy a historical a pack from Victrix Old Guard, and there's 60 models. That's 2.5 battalions for me. Or with the Perrys, 44 men at arms. That's again, 2+ units. You're probably finding, and also you're probably finding this in your medievals. You're getting bowmen and other infantry in one box.
Yeah, and it's 20 quid.
Yeah.
What the hell?
So yeah, I'm not gonna change. I'm gonna say plastic, metal, plastic.
Yeah, it's literally an English army in a box.
Yeah.
which is very nice, and you could, if you wanted to, with this, if you based it individually, you could definitely play a skirmish game with it. But I'm getting enough. I'm gonna have enough for I would say, what are they based as? Is it a regiment or a battalion? What would you class these as, or a unit? How would you call them?
A unit. I would. Well, in Black Powder and Hail Caesar kind of follows that sort of set. It would be a battalion. So I don't know. So you've got probably 3 units worth of stuff there, I would say.
Right. Yeah, I'm gonna have 4 bases of archers, and I'll end up having 8 or 10 bases of men at arms.
Well, it entirely depends, because there's rules for different size. So there's standard, small, and large. So you could say, if your opponent agrees, that the way we do it is we say 1 to 2 bases is a small unit, 3 to 4 is a medium unit, and 5 or more is a large unit. So if you had your 2 units of archers, your 2 bases of archers, you put them together and say that's a medium. If you had 3 bases of archers, you could say that's a small unit, or you could divide it down. You can break them up. You see, so do it that way.
Yeah.
That's
exactly. Yeah, then this is another thing, is lean on again. This is what's getting me thinking about Napoleonics a lot more, is multiple infantry units on one base.
Yeah,
so bigger bases, and I'm thinking that looks friggin' awesome. that looks so good. And I'm turning into Steve a little bit here and being a bit grammatical with my bases, and I'm like, I added a rock on this one, Steve. You'd be proud, mate. I put a rock on it, and I even put the spikes on it. The wooden spikes for the archers.
All right.
Yeah, I've done a bit of work, mate. Don't worry. Look, I've done a bit of work on it. A big rock in the background there. put some flowers on it. But oh yeah, I definitely want to. I want to make up some individual arrows, and stick them like in the ground as well. Maybe get one of the guy getting hit in the knee or something like that. You know.
Yeah.
I will admit when I've seen you guys doing your medievals and you've got 4, 6 or whatever on a square base, it always looks really good. Always does. It does. There's something about seeing rather than just figures based individually.
Yeah.
Seeing them on multiple figures on one big base.
So what like that?
Yeah, exactly like that. That just looks so good.
Yeah. It does. It does look so good.
And all I see is scope for basing.
Yeah. There's some wicked stuff.
That's one. It was like when I saw Leon's lance nets. My God.
Yeah.
My God, I was blown away by the army, and it looked so good because he set it up so he could have big regiments, 4 bases or 6 bases, and he could just expand it, and it just looks so good.
Yeah.
And I think it was the basing that really brought it all together.
It's just awesome. That caused me to go on Wikipedia and immediately just look up what is a lance neck. So I was like looking up.
What is it?
What is it? Do I want it? How much is this? Yeah.
How do I buy? Where do I buy? But it's interesting you said about Victrix, yeah, because I've never bought any Victrix stuff, but I'm going to think of when I do my Napoleonics, I'm going to do a mix of, I get a box of Victrix and a box of Perry's at the same time and do a mix. And go that route maybe.
I've got all 3. I've got Warlord. Actually, I've got 4. I've got front rank, Warlord, Perry, and Victrix in my armies. I've mixed it all.
Yeah. See, I might avoid the Warlord stuff. I may avoid it. I don't know. And I don't know why that is. It's a bit weird, but I might avoid it just because I'm used to Warlord kits and I've had enough of them. Maybe.
It's really helpful when they do their sprue sale though, and you want to bulk out units. With
oh God, that sprue sale! At sprue sale, I've got to hide my wallet. There's so much in there that you want. It's like but it's always I don't need that now, but I may need it in the future. And yeah,
I'm normally pretty good with the sprue sale, unless it's £1. As soon as I see anything's a £1, if you see some of their sprues go down to £1, you're like add to cart.
I know what you mean. I've had a couple of questions. I don't know if you guys game in the Dark Age, but someone's asked when I'm going to be doing my Dark Age gaming. As soon as I can get the guy that I'm going to do Dark Age gaming round to finish his army and come round, and we're allowed to, and I can do it properly socially distant. That'll be when I do that. So soon, hopefully. But also, like he said, I don't know. Do you guys do any Dark Age stuff, Vikings or anything like that, or?
No, but again, I would like to do it.
So he said, "What's the best Dark Age faction?" I mean, what would you, if you guys were going to do Dark Ages? What would you do? I mean, that's quite a large period as well. So obviously you've got Saxons, Danes, Vikings, Irish, Scots, all sorts.
Scots for me, probably, just because I could paint ginger hair. Yeah. And I could call Kendor. And make you have a really big, I don't
know. I'd probably say, I'd play cliche and go Vikings. I don't know. Who doesn't like Vikings though? They're just
well, that's why I wouldn't choose them.
Yeah, like so I play Saga, so I've got an Anglo-Danish army. Because my mate went Vikings, and obviously they're all about chopping you into little pieces. And mine are the exact opposite. Mine are about forming a shield wall and grinding you down bit by bit.
Yeah.
But I just recently finished my sort of Arthurian, because I really like the sort of historical Arthur and all of that that kind of period. So sort of late, where the Roman Empire's falling apart, that kind of thing. So you could do some really cool looking like ragged Romans. Who can't, so they've got bits falling off their shields. They're not all uniform anymore, and so no, it's an interesting period. It's
would my SPQR be classed as Dark Ages? Would SPQR be classed as that?
That's still set in the sort of main Roman period.
It's ancient.
Yeah, you just brought that up because Dom's not here and you don't want to give him an aneurysm.
Hopefully he watches this back, and then I haven't got a.
You'll get a message straight away.
You bastard! That's what I get.
Yeah. No. Yeah. I do like. I love Dark Age Heroes Saga. I play Saga, and I like Saga because I like the Saga's sort of skirts this line between realism and then sagas. It's meant to be sort of overblown, so your characters do have loads of loads of attacks, and your warlord can go carving his way through an army. And it's meant to be a bit like Beowulf, I think. It's meant to be like, these are overblown.
Yeah.
So, yeah. Sorry. Yeah, go. That was God. I've got loads of questions. Jesus.
See, look, mine don't want to read your questions. Come to my stream.
No. Stay here. I'll read them. I'll read them. King Matt's here. Hello. He's part of the reason that I ended up getting Carthaginians, because it was one of his videos I was watching when I was drunk.
Yeah.
So that was one reason.
Yeah, that's it, innit?
Yeah. Oh.
But that's it. That's the thing, innit? With all of this is the only thing that really puts me off of starting new stuff is I've got to get terrain for it as well, which can be a bit of a pain in the ass. Is you got to make new terrain, and you got to store that terrain somewhere with, It's handy when you get periods that you can just intermingle trees and grassy fields. That's quite a handy thing. So I don't know about everyone else, but that's how I feel about it. But I've got another question here that says about. I think you answered this already, Steve. Actually, anyone got any tips to paint Waffen SS camouflage? Got good start. Find it difficult. Maybe my mate is doing Market Garden. Yeah, I've done a couple of videos on it.
I'm just gonna have to step away for a second, chaps. Okay, I'll be back in 1 second.
Okay. There's 2 videos on my channel. I've done Autumn Leaf and some weird version of P dot. I challenge myself to do some S camouflage, but there's 2 sort of they're not tutorials. It's just sort of me having a go. But I'm actually quite chuffed with how they turn out. So yeah.
But again, similar with my channel, I've done a few. I've used contrast paints for mine. I think I did an Autumn Leaf. Is that the one with the bright green on it, Steve?
Autumn is the browns, the oranges, the pinks.
I think I did Oak Leaf. I did Oak Leaf. I did one with green, like really green, brown and green. But there's some tutorials on both our channels for it, so check those out. But also, what colour would you do SS during Market Garden? Obviously, spring green and brown camp. Yeah.
So that's 44. So you'd be looking at. I don't want to upset the purists now. If I get this wrong, no. If I was doing something for late, so 44 onwards, I would go for. I'd probably go for P dot. Imagine you could. There's no real set answer. I think you could probably mix it up. I mean, what I always say when I'm painting camouflage at that scale is it's the 3 foot rule. As long as it looks okay from 3 feet away, you're not aiming to get 100% historically accurate camouflage.
No, you can't. You can't at 28mm, really, can you?
No, I mean, but by all means, if you want to do that, I've not got the patience to do that. So when I was painting those 2 examples, I even set out with that. I looked at reference material, but I didn't try and copy it. It was how do I reduce this from this picture down to 28mm? I'm quite happy with the way that it turned out, actually.
Yeah, I was when I did mine. It's like you don't want to. You're saying about the purists. You don't want to play against my SS because my SS have all got fezzes.
Oh, the Hanshar division,
yeah, and they've all got that oak leaf camo, which I'm sure none of them wore. But hey, they're my models at the end of the day, and I'll paint them how I want if I want to do that camo.
Exactly. I mean, if they're your models, I when I made my SAS Desert Raiders, I've used one of the Fez guys in there. Just I wanted somewhere in the SAS wearing a Fez.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be quite characterful.
No, exactly, but no, you can give me a cool loop. Oh, Alpha 7563, my paint dealer.
Hello.
Did Haley lock herself out again?
Huh? No. My one of my daughters just woke up and she was all confused. Haley's actually out for a walk. I believe she's Pokemon hunting on Pokemon Go.
Oh, love it. Oh dear, but yeah, no, it's God, what's the time anyway? Oh, it's 9:30. Jesus, time's cracking on, isn't it?
It's flown.
Yeah, time has flown again. What a surprise! Have you? What was it? Have you guys got any other things you want to really discuss tonight? So we make sure we get them in.
I've got one. Just a quick one.
Yeah, go on.
Washes.
Yep.
What? I asked this because for years, I have been a disciple of Agrax Earthshade.
Yes.
To a point where if I've not got any, I can't paint.
Oh,
but because because during the lockdown, Agrax became like trying to get hen's teeth. You couldn't find it anywhere around here. I, as a sort of stopgap, picked up Army Painter Strong Tone as a sort of to buy me over until I can get my next thing of Agrax.
Yeah,
I like it.
Good, isn't it?
I didn't think I would use. I didn't think I'd use anything outside of Agrax Earthshade, but I'm using this on me Germans, and it works just as well. It literally is just as good as Agrax. But is there what's your go-to wash?
Use it over khaki. Try it over khaki. It looks even better. It does look really good. Really good. It's really hard for me actually now because I've got the Army Painter complete set. I've got all of their tones now, and I've been going through and trying them out. I've got a lot of the GW tones as well. And I do like their dark tone. That Army Painter do compared to Known Oil. Known Oil's got its place if I want something a bit thinner. But if I want to slather it on a historical miniature like these medievals, I'm going in with dark tone. I've used both, and I do prefer it. And I just like you, Steve. I always thought I would be like GW till I die when it comes to washes, because that's what everyone says. But I do actually really like the Army Painter stuff, because they've got strong tone, soft tone, light tone. So they've got different shades of brown for washes, which is even cooler. And I think there's how many's here? Let me just count them. 2, 4, 6, 8, 10. I think there's 11, and that's their complete range.
Wow.
So there's 11 washes.
I mean,
you can get it in a box for about 20 quid.
I mean, I once this has run out, I was just going to go back to Agrax, but this I'm very much sold on, and it smells nice as well.
Yeah, it does. It tastes nice as well. That's the best part.
I tell you what, doesn't taste nice. Vallejo burnt umber. I got a mouthful of that last week, and it was just decidedly unpleasant.
I did, but no. What I think about actually, I better put this wash on because then that wash will be done. But I'm going to go over with where is it? I think it's dark tone now. Yeah, dark tone.
So I'm putting strong tone straight over Vallejo Field Grey.
Yeah.
And
it does really well, doesn't
it? It works really well. I mean that one I sent you before of that the German dude with the dog, that was done with strong tone as well. In fact, the dog was done with strong tone.
It's a bit thicker, isn't it? As well.
Oh yes. Oh, absolutely. I mean, I had to. The first time I used it was when I was doing those Brits for Infamy, and I slapped it all over one. I thought, bloody hell, what the feck have I done here? So I had to. I kind of watered it down and brushed it over. But since then, for every like 4 drops, I use a blob of water as well to bring it down slightly.
Right.
But
I'm trying to find a quick shade. I do a mixture medium, quick shade mixture medium.
I've got that.
Yeah, I've got it. I'm just putting some in now because these paints are quite dark that I've put on anyway, so I don't want to completely darken it. So just mix that in a little bit, just to make it a little bit thinner. But yeah, I'm literally just going over the whole model in this dark tone, apart from the flesh. So because I just want them to be nice and dirty, basically, including over the contrast paint. Because like I was saying last week in last week's stream, I want these guys to look like they've been on a campaign and on a battlefield, not pristine out of the out of the shop.
Yeah, I don't think I have a go-to wash, like a final wash. I mean, Agrax Earthshade for certain things. I use Agrax Earthshade when I'm painting white. I use that as the second sort of. I use it to pin highlight around where I want to with white, and then and then bring Corax white in and just pick out spot highlights. I tend to use quite a lot of the contrast paints as washes.
Yeah.
So and because there's a greater variety, I can thin those and mix them up as I want to. I've got strong tone, and I use that probably just as much. For Napoleonics, I use a lot of Nuln Oil. Especially on French, because there's a lot of blues and greys.
Yeah, I can imagine.
I use Nuln Oil a lot. And that's just because that was for a time thing. I just wanted to find a quick way to just knock them out fast. I even did everything. Everything got a coat of Nuln Oil. Face, skin, everything. And then I just pick out details really quickly. But yeah, I don't know. I'd say something, strong tone, Agrax would probably be, I was going to say, if you were going to have one wash in a kit, you were going to put some paint together, I'd say, Agrax.
Yeah, Agrax. It's weird you mentioned the Napoleonics. I was having a conversation with a guy on Twitter a couple of weeks back, and we're both talking about Napoleonics. And Napoleonics I painted, they were bright and shiny, and but his were sort of drab and dull and covered in mud. And I much prefer that version of Napoleonics than the one I did.
That's what I tend to do. Yeah,
it's more realistic as well. People weren't going to have white trousers a very long and a muddy battlefield.
Yeah, I mean,
but I just wasn't.
Yeah,
I just wasn't confident enough to do it like that.
I mean, it's the kind of the on parade look, isn't it? And and you're thinking, well, how often would that actually have been a thing? I mean, these guys you might quite like these ones. So these are the warlord. These are Prussian Landwehr, and I love these because some of these guys are wearing sandals or they've got holes in their boots, but these have got like a really worn kind of like look to them. They've kind of just got like lots of sort of wear and tear, and some of them look, they've just got holes and bandages, so they're perfect. there's no you can't even make them look good like they're on parade. They were just given like a smock and a rifle and gone, there's the enemy, go that way.
Oh yeah. No, it is a good wash, isn't it? It is a nice wash. Again, it's everyone to their own flavour, isn't it? But I've found with my historical stuff, I tend to use the army painter stuff a little bit more. My fantasy stuff, I tend to stick with the Games Workshop sort of brand washes. Don't know why. It's a good question though, Steve. Definitely.
Yeah.
Especially with these Perry miniatures, mate. They've got a lot. Go on. Sorry, mate.
I was going to say another one I use is Athonian Camo Shade.
Oh, that stuff's God for camo.
Yeah, when I was painting my Australians, I just painted the uniform and just splashed that. And do you know what? Sometimes you get an effect and you think, bloody hell, that looks fantastic.
Yeah,
that's what I did with my my Australians. It just so simple. It was just Russian uniform green and Athonian Camo Shade.
And just so good.
I was like, I think some kind of, I don't know. So what were we saying before, Kevin?
No, that's right, mate. I was just saying. I said about historicals. I tend to use that the army painted stuff and the other stuff. And now I've completely forgotten. No, completely forgot. It's gone. It's weird actually because I've got a load of the purple washes, blue washes, greens, orange, reds. I've got loads from Games Workshop. I've probably got most of their wash range. But I've found now it's like I'm going to put a wash on these guys. I'm not going to go back in and highlight any of the uniform. I'm just going to go back in and just do some of like the strap, maybe just go over that quick coat, and then maybe some of the linen on where he's tying it up. But I won't go back over the clothing because it's going to be grimy to me. So what's the point of painting over it again?
Yeah.
I just want it to be dirty. I'm not going to bother, and I'm kind of liking this new attitude to painting of lazy painting, and it looks good still. But I remember what I was going to say. I was going to say with these Perrys, it's really these Perry minis have got a lot of detail. Like the archers' uniforms, you can see like all the actual lines, the individual crease lines, and the army painter stuff really sits in those well.
Yeah.
Really does sit in them really well, and they are good for washes, these models. And it's just I'm happy to be finally getting some wash on these archers. They're not hard to paint, but after you've painted like 10 of them now, different colours and things like that, you just want to get them done and just get something a bit more simpler, like the men at arms. They're so much easier. They're just so quick. They are. I couldn't believe how fast you can actually paint them.
I know. I mean, I've nearly done 10 tonight while we've been sort of chatting.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah.
Is that picking out the details as well?
Yeah. Yeah. Like I've just got to do the skin on this fella. He's ready to go. I've just got to do his livery and just finish his sword, and then he's done. And then on the final ones. Oh wow, that's a lot. Leslie has said that I should have a look at Grebo games. There might be something there to interest Hayley. She's just come back now, so I'll have to ask you. Did you catch anything? Yes, apparently, and then some swear words. She hasn't
been in the bit. She hasn't been tidying up the bins again, has she?
No, not this time. Peter Little said you should check out new front rank Brunswickers. They look good. But the thing is, if I check out new models, new Napoleonics, I'm going to want to get them. That's the thing. And Brunswick would go awesome in my allied army. So, but then I'd have to do a whole division. I wouldn't be able to just make a brigade.
Oh dear, poor Martin.
I know.
I feel so sorry for you.
Yeah, how are those as you paint those medievals, enjoy that.
Yeah.
Sorry, go on, mate.
Oh no, I've managed to paint my sniper team up to from nothing to the wash, and happy with them. I'm quite chuffed. I'm definitely turning to metal miniatures. I don't know. I can see a change in the force here.
It's a problem, isn't it, Steve? Because I love them for individual characters, but it's just and that's the thing. That's the problem. If you can get loads of individual sculpts, it's cushy. But if you're going to field like 40, 50 of the same sculpt, it's like no, I'd rather go plastic for that reason than different box sets, like everyone was saying earlier. But it's like with these archers, and how I said in my Men at Arms video, right? They're like similar sculpts. Don't get me wrong. So they're the same sprue, but I'm mixing around the arms to the bodies, and I'm also, like I said, I've got a lightly coloured blue guy here. Okay, you might be able to see him all right. Yeah, lightly blue. But then on the opposite of it, I've got a guy that is, well, you can't even see how dark blue he is because he is very dark blue, like there. So dark blue and a brighter yellow. So I'm mixing up the colours, and this is not something I've ever done before.
How's it feel?
Giving them different. Feels weird, in all honesty, but I like to say it's more realistic.
Well, yeah, it is.
Absolutely, yeah.
They wouldn't have got their uniforms, and like I said before, the things have been repaired. They would have, dye would come from different areas. There wouldn't just be one uniform look. I mean, from a distance, obviously, it all looks different. Up close, you've got people who've been on campaign longer, who are veterans of many battles and that, and then you've got some recruit who's just been like, drummed in there. There's all sorts.
Is some kit go on and
don't ask what happened to the guy who wore it last.
And was there a couple of holes in it?
No, it's
No, it's definitely a different experience. I'm not going to lie. It's definitely turning to be something exciting. I'm excited about medievals, so it's your fault, Martin. Cheers.
Yeah, well, it's all right. I've got Peter Little's trying to get. He's going to go on Martin. But this will be about the Brunswick because he's going to indulge. No, I'm going to not. You watch this next week. Now I'm going to say, hey, look, I'm going to paint some Brunswickers. This is going there's been a good question in the chat here. I don't know. I'm honest. Is what's your worst injury or anything you've ever had while painting or that's been like caused by modelling or gaming? Have you even had one?
Oh God.
Yeah, severe cramp. Steve's gone very out of focus. Oh, there he is.
I'm back now. I have got a 2 to 3 inch scar on my finger there.
Right.
Christmas Day 1996. I had an accident with a very sharp craft knife and spent 2 hours on Christmas Day in A&E.
Oh no,
lovely.
Because
it give you a memory, mate.
Oh, it was one of those. It was so deep. It didn't bleed for about 20 seconds.
Oh right.
Oh dear. So it took that long for the blood to go to the service.
Oh, it was just. I could see inside it. It was just. Oh God.
Oh.
When I got to A&E and the guy saw me, he said, "I don't know how you've done it, but you've missed everything vital. All you've done is cut through flesh. You've hit no veins, no tendons, no anything." So just put a couple of sutures on it, and I was back home for 2 hours. What else is there? Trying to think. I got microsol in my eye. That bloody hurt. Yeah, just normal. Yeah, it was. I don't imagine it's that poisonous, but it stung for about half an hour.
I bet it did.
I mean, it's the usual, nicks and cuts, and I'm generally quite an accident prone person, so I'm actually quite surprised I've not had as many modelling injuries as I actually
have. I tend to get.
Anyone else got any?
Yeah, I tend to get a lot of like cramp and leg issues because I sit down for so long and don't realise.
Right. Okay.
So I've got to get up and walk about because, mate, I've done a 12-hour painting session and not left my desk. Not even realised.
I was putting my worst one was when I was putting together my fire and sword miniatures, and they all come with the wire lances. You can get wire spears, for stuff, and they are, like I said, they are very rigid. And now that went all the way through the soft meat of my hand. And it did not bend, so I will review them and say yes, they are really strong. What I can say is he won't forgive me for doing this, but my brother-in-law, this made me laugh though. That makes me a horrible person. But he was he's into gaming as well, and he was sticking something together, and he had the really, really thick super glue that sets. I mean, it's not even super glue. It's for bonding. I don't know, planes together or something. I don't know. It's the stuff that bonds in about 3 seconds, and he just knocked the bottle over on a table. And that was absolutely fine. Fine. He's knocked it over. So he got a cloth and he just did this, and he wiped across the top like this. And then he just did the thing that came naturally, which was he turned it over and then went like that. And he got but it was a tea towel. So he had a tea towel stuck to his hand, and he sort of looked at it, and then it started to burn. So he had to pull it off, and he had like a furry, like a furry hand, and he had to run it under, and it was like it was cocoon. See, I'm laughing now. He's going to watch this probably and swear at me a bit. But
you've literally just twigged what my worst injury was. If you watch Melda Train Shooter's videos when he does his foam hills out of foam in a can.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, that foam is very, very sticky and doesn't come off your hands.
I thought you were about to say you got it mixed up with like liquid cheese or something, or cream sprayed into your mouth. Or
No. So I laid out on the floor loads of stuff, to let this stuff cure, because obviously you can't let this touch anything because it will not come off. It will not come off whatever you stick it to, yeah? So I sprayed it down. And he said leave it about half an hour. So I did, yeah? What I didn't take into account is all the stuff inside the actual, like, the outside layer isn't going to be set in that half an hour. So I picked it up and put my hand right through it.
Right.
And I literally had this foam stuff all over my hand. And it wouldn't come off. It took like 2 weeks to get every bit off. And it left this horrible, horrible, sticky texture everywhere. And I had to peel it off. I literally peeled the skin off of my hands to get it off. Yeah, it's not great. If you ever use that stuff, wear gloves.
I just
my God, I wondered why it came with a packet of gloves, and I was thinking, what's this with glove? And like a typical man, I was like, I'm not reading the instructions. Mel was all right. He wasn't wearing gloves. No, wear gloves. If you ever use that stuff, foam in a can, oh my God, it is.
That sounds pretty horrific to me, mate. Really horrific.
Sorry, I'm laughing, but yes, that sounds horrible.
You should Google it. Go on YouTube and type in like the expandable foam on your hands. Just Google it. I used everything, mate. I used Dettol. I used pure acetone alcohol. I put my hands in like isopropanol to try and get it to peel off. Do you know the stuff that you get from like the mold remover? Do you know like mold remover? Tried that.
Oh yeah.
That wouldn't do it. My hands were burning. God, how did I forget about that? I must have stuck that to the back of my mind.
You've just reminded me of something. So so this isn't model related, but it's still so I did I was doing a job in a parsnip field, and the farmer told us, help yourselves, basically. Retrospectively, I think he might not have been the farmer. So we were doing this job, and I picked up these parsnips, and they've got they've got long stems. So I was picking them up, and they brushed all the way up my arm, and fine, did the job. And then the next day, I was looking at my arm, going, my arms are really, really itchy. I wonder what that is. And I looked down, and they were going red. And I was like, I wonder if he's sprayed something on these plants or whatever. And bearing in mind, I just turned them into soup and eaten them as well, and dished them out to like my family. And then over the next few days, my hands and my arms came up in blisters and burns, like 2nd degree burns, like blisters. They were all the way down my arm. And I found out subsequently that there's this thing called like photosensitive ultra. Basically, there's an oil in certain leaves and plants, and it goes into your skin.
It gets rid of all your natural UV resistance,
and then UV light goes in there and it burns you, and it's ridiculous. And there's a picture of me at a wedding at that weekend, and I got my hands all mummified. Is it because I picked a parsnip?
Yeah. So there's that, and there's also by rivers. It's like this special like pondweed stuff.
Yeah.
And if you brush up against that shit, you just you literally go home instantly, and you don't piss about with it. But that's what's it called? Herbology or some crap? Some crap. But yeah, I know exactly what you mean, Martin. I've never done it, but I know a couple of the plants to look out for.
Yeah,
and they're on like
I'll never do it again.
Stuff like that. No.
I've also
I didn't know parsnips did it, mate. I never knew parsnips did it.
Yeah, now, but I have to. That's my regular when I'm doing the risk assessments at work. Like, look, don't pick parsnips. Don't. I don't understand why this stuff hasn't been weaponized. I don't get it.
Probably find it is in something.
Probably,
it's like napalm or something.
Yeah. Oh dear.
A couple of years back, I got Scotch bonnet chili in my eye.
No.
Bloody hell.
No.
I thought that. I thought that was going to be a hospital job because my eye just went, I'm going to close now, and it wouldn't open for 25 minutes.
Oh my God!
Every time I tried to open it, it was like, no, I'm not opening. You idiot! You've killed me.
Oh dear!
And eventually, I had to get a kitchen roll, put it in cold water, and press it into my eye. And after about 40 minutes, it kind of reopened, but it looked like someone had just painted my eyeball red. The whole thing was just like, it was just. Yeah, so
Not good.
don't mess,
injuries.
don't mess around with Scottish bonnet chili.
My best injury, I was off work for like 4 or 5 weeks because of this. Basically, when I was a technician working like in the houses for Virgin, so when I first started, I was an apprentice, and you go around, you know, you get all the tacks in the walls, yeah, with all the cable to attach it to the walls, right? So I'm going around, tacking away. I've done this a million times before, and I hit one of the nails just at the right angle where, do you know, on a nail you've got the head where you hit the hammer, that pinged off.
Oh yeah.
Hit the brickwork and went straight in my eye.
Oh,
straight on my actual eye, my iris, right? Like literally just to the left of it, yeah. And it pinged in and pinged out, luckily, but it went down about 3 layers. And if it didn't go, I literally, my eye, I'll have to find a picture, but it swelled up so much, and I had to go at the A&E, and I'm driving like this, like Popeye. No, right. And I get there and they're like, yeah, you're not going to be able to see out of that for a while because obviously they put anesthetic in it, right? So I was like, oh, this feels great. I can't feel no pain. This is awesome. And then it wears off about after 2 hours because they just went, yeah, it's going to be a bit painful. And I'm like, I've never experienced pain like that. Like, it's just irritating pain. That took weeks to like stop hurting. And still to this day, I swear to God, I've still got some metal in my eye.
I think the worst pain I can honestly say I've ever experienced was 10 years ago. I fell over and broke both my arms.
What, at the same time?
Oh yeah, fractured elbows.
Oh no.
2 months off work.
Oh dear.
Jeez Louise.
Yeah.
Yeah. No, the tack in the eye was not a good. No, not your proudest moment, mate. No. No, I've. Oh my God, no. Yeah, yeah. Do you know the worst thing about the tack in the eye was, right? Before, health and safety never said it was a policy to wear goggles while tacking. It was after I'd done it, so I had to stand up in front of all the other apprentices and explain what I had done and what. And they asked me, why weren't you wearing your goggles? I said, because it doesn't say I have to wear goggles. And it did after that.
Yeah, that's, yeah.
The worst thing was the lady whose house it was said, oh, you're not going to finish doing the installs? I can't see on Popeye.
Oh, dear.
Yeah, no, God, I remember that. Jeez Louise. Sorry if you're watching this video. You did get your install finished by someone that could actually see.
So what have we all finished tonight?
I've done 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. No, hang on. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11 men at arms to nearly done, and then I've just got flesh to do, really. So just got quite a lot all on corks. So yeah, quite a lot. I'll have those done this week. So that'll be another unit. Bash
very
out.
nice. Very nice. I've literally just got a flesh wash these 5 archers, and that's them done. So they are literally done. So I've finished those. I'm happy with that, and I can get them on a nice base.
I've painted my sniper team up to wash, so highlights tomorrow, which will take about 15 minutes, and then I can start on the base.
Your most favourite part, mate.
They're going to be based on this war machine base.
Oh, okay. Something a bit bigger, yeah.
Well, no, on top of that's going cork, so it's going to be quite big. But I'm thinking of putting them in a building. I'm not quite sure yet.
That'd be cool.
The only problem is they've got those metal base things on them.
Oh, what the
when
bases?
I know they do plastic, they go straight on. Yeah. So that one I did today with the dude with the dog. I hid that with filler. I just went over with watered down wall filler and just blended it into the cork. So I might do the same with these guys. I'm not quite sure yet.
What did you cut out a bit of the cork?
Yeah, I was thinking of doing that, mate, and sinking it a bit. I'll have a think.
Or press it really hard.
Yeah. Might do that. That's a thing. But yeah,
you've got to,
always look forward to getting the basing done.
Yeah, that's good. Ken, are you gonna open your envelope, mate?
Yeah, I am.
Is there anything you don't want it to be?
Dwarfs. I've paid enough dwarfs recently, just not this week. Just not dwarfs this week.
You need a drum roll. I'd do it, but all my models will fall over.
There you go.
Oh, there's two. They're metal. So, and I have. Oh, Lord of the Rings.
What'd you get?
So I've got Wormtongue and Sharky, but that is Saruman basically after his downfall. So it's Saruman and Wormtongue for Lord of the Rings, and I'm actually quite happy with that because there's a lot of cape to do there.
Yeah.
So that's a bit of practice with my airbrush.
Cool.
So yeah, they should be getting done next. So bag number 2 down. That's something a bit different. I wasn't expecting that. I'll tell you what I do want to get out actually. Some Riders of Rohan.
Oh yeah.
That's what I want. All the Fell Beast, because that's sat behind me. I can see
that. Fell Beast. I had great fun painting. I painted that in about 2 hours. I did a tutorial on it. You should go and have a look. Go and watch it.
You're all turning into me, aren't you?
Yeah. Well, yeah. Go look at it. It was all contrast paints, and only took me like 2 hours to do the whole thing. So, because because I was umming and ahhing about whether to airbrush it or not, and then decided not to, and just see.
I'm going to airbrush it. It's going to be airbrushed. Yeah. Oh, Steve, is he breaking up, or is it me?
No. I've got to keep moving, otherwise you think.
No. It was Martin. Martin went.
I went. Oh, okay.
All right.
Yeah. On my screen, he went.
Well, I think up next, once I've got this sniper team done, I've got a choice between that officer and a command section that I made at the weekend, or another forward observation team. It's going to keep me busy. While I was digging through those miniatures as well, I found that the British sniper team that Warlord released, the guys in ghillie suits.
Yeah, I've got them.
I've got them. They're so good value.
I forgot I owned them. I found them in a bits box when I was looking for those. So they've been primed and base coated tonight. So I think I'll do them sometime later this week. But no, it's going to be getting. Because what I want to do is once I want to paint up these as quick as I can to do a kind of follow-up video to that video at the weekend where I was actually showing what I've done. I think it'd be a nice contrast. Actually showing what they look like now they're finished.
Yeah, definitely. No, that's it.
Oh, Dom's just appeared.
Is he? See you later, Dom.
Yeah. He's just said, "Nice job, best show ever. Please, you got rid of that other Muppet."
Oh dear. Yeah, I know he's not welcome back next week. But no. Well, guys, thanks very much for tuning into the old Plastic Crack podcast this week. Dom's back next week, and I am on call, so I may get called out, which is Joyce, as I probably will do. You never know. But thanks very much, guys, and we will see you again next week.
Bye.
And Martin, you have to click end stream, Martin.
Yeah, I know. I've worked that one out. Bye.
There we go.